Kawhi Leonard, the robot himself. Leonard is honestly a really big mystery off the basketball court, and his quiet demeanor really makes him hard to get to know. However, who's better to talk to than NBA legends who have either shared the court with him or have gotten to meet him outside of the game of basketball? In today's video, we have gathered some opinions on a multitude of NBA legends who were asked about Kawhi Leonard over the past couple of years. Some have loved him ever since the beginning, while others chose to stay distant from him for quite a while until he really started to burst out onto the scene. Stick around until the end of the video to find out which former teammate of his couldn't even remember his name when he was first drafted onto the team. Starting this off with the opinion of Shaquille O'Neal. Shaq is no stranger to getting NBA player rankings incorrect, but he was certain he saw something special in Kawhi Leonard during his time with the San Antonio Spurs. He said he believed Kawhi was a top player in the league at the time, and that his recent performances during the time of his interview made him believe that he was correct even more than before. Charles Barkley chimed in and agreed with Shaq on this statement as well.
He's the king of Toronto. He's the emperor of Canada. I wouldn't leave. And he's probably top three. Kawhi Leonard is a superstar. Yeah, everybody chipped in, but it all starts with Kawhi. But when you have a superstar, those other guys oh, we're good. And that's what Kawhi Leonard gives those guys.
Arguably, the greatest shooter of all time had some great things to say about the Claw also. Steph Curry made sure to start his statement off by saying, Kawhi is one of the few players in the league that are simply never rushed, regardless of the scenario. He takes his time, he finds his spot, and he operates as smoothly as anybody else in the league right now. Steph also talked about his massive three-point shooting improvement and how he went from barely shooting to being an above-average jump shooter from anywhere on the court. You know you are one talented player when one of the best shooters in history is complimenting your shooting improvement and your focus.
I mean, he's tough, obviously. He's been playing amazing, but he's become a really good shooter. He's obviously physically gifted and strong, never seems to get rushed or be in a hurry.
Paul Pierce was the next player to really compliment Kawhi's overall game as a basketball player. He said that with his most recent year with the Los Angeles Clippers, he has to be a top 5 player in the NBA right now. Pierce continued by saying that he genuinely believes Leonard should be in the conversation for a top 30 player in the history of the league. Strong support for a fellow NBA champion and Finals MVP.
I mean, he's already up there with the all-time greats based on this last year's performance. Kawhi is already, in my eyes, a top, probably 30 player all time.
Scottie Pippen also talked briefly about his thoughts on Kawhi.
He's a beast.
He can take it.
He's a beast. He can take it. I mean, that's what great players do. They want to run the whole race. They don't want to be taken out. And that's what we're seeing in him. And he knew.
The late Kobe Bryant said that he absolutely loved watching Kawhi play the game of basketball. He even admitted that he and Leonard share a very similar play style in terms of their shot selection and focus during basketball games. Bryant said that he noticed Kawhi loves the mid-range game and the fadeaways while inside the three-point line, and that he also loved to operate in that area. To be compared to Kobe by Kobe himself had to have been an incredible moment, and one that not many people have ever gotten to hear before in their lifetimes. Magic Johnson chimed in as well. This was during an interview right before the Toronto Raptors were able to defeat the Golden State Warriors and claim their NBA championship.
I think that Kawhi is doing it on both ends, man. I think that, if he can win this championship, it'll put him right up there with LeBron and KD. Kawhi gets most of his points on twos, but he always get to his spot, and I don't care even if you beat him there, he's so big and strong, he gonna bump you off and still get his shot off. And what we really love, Doc, is that he plays both ends of the court and he makes always the right read.
Now moving on to Manu Ginobili, his former teammate and another NBA champion on the San Antonio Spurs. Manu admitted that he hated the Spurs selection of Leonard in the draft all those years back. He said that He just didn't like the fact that he was replacing another friend he had on the roster, and that he honestly just didn't know him that well. He did say that neither he or anybody else on that roster could have predicted Kawhi to turn out the way he has, and that he is a truly special player despite his past grievances with him. Tony Allen, a guard on the same team as Ginobili and Leonard, said that he legitimately didn't know Kawhi's name for a long time. Parker said that he did pay attention to him being called in the draft, but would often forget his name during practices or games, or anything like that for some time. However, nowadays he obviously knows all about Kawhi and the dominance that he is showing in the league right now since Parker has retired. Nate Robinson made sure to call him a winner when he described his feelings on the Claw. He said that the only thing that should really matter about Kawhi's game is the fact that he always comes into work every day and brings his A game no matter what. He also talked as if there wasn't much he even really needed to say about this guy, considering all the things that he has been able to accomplish so far in his NBA career, bringing up his NBA championship and his finals MVP awards to prove the point even further. However, he continued anyways. He mentioned how Kawhi entered into the league as a player that really didn't have much to contribute offensively. That his focus was to build a solid defender to whoever ended up drafting him. But as he progressed, Robinson said that he was really impressed by the way he just improved in all aspects of offense, including that mid-range game. Nate even said that he looks completely unstoppable out there, especially when he ends up getting into that rhythm that superstar players can get themselves into. You know it's over for your team when that happens.
Jordan, I call him Terminator Jordan for a reason. When he came in the league, he was like a Michael Jordan type player, but he's like more of a robot. Anywhere he goes, whatever team he's on, is definitely going to have a chance to win championship.
None of these other guys may have given a more loving representation of Kawhi Leonard than Kendrick Perkins. He said that despite how crazy it may sound,
and this may sound crazy, but Kawhi Leonard reminds me of Michael Jordan.
Now, to clarify, he didn't say that he was comparing the two and putting them in the same category talent-wise. He just meant that if you take their work ethic and their play style, it looks very similar when you line them up next to one another in the film room. That neither of these players were super fancy all the time and looking for the next highlight reel. They just went out there and did their job to the best of their ability without getting distracted. Both Kawhi and Jordan were two of the players in the league's history that just refused to get pushed away from their sports, no matter how hard you may try. He wrapped up what he was saying by talking about how he fully believes that Kawhi is the best defender in the league right now, due to his quickness, athleticism, intelligence, and wingspan that is truly unlike any other player in the league at the moment. Those are some of the NBA legends that have spoken out about their feelings on the two-time NBA champion, Kawhi Leonard. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more content just like this. Also, be sure to ring that bell so you are always notified when we upload. We have some exciting stuff planned for the future that you won't want to miss out on.
Let's go.